Streaming from Madison, Wisconsin and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Straight to your personal devices. Available on all major platforms and YouTube. This is the Armchair Analysts Podcast. And here are your hosts, Ace and Johnny.
Howdy, y'all! It's Ace and Johnny. Welcome to this week's. Well, this is. It's like a baby episode of us, right? Like we're gonna have a little bit of our show, but then we got a little special feature that we've been talking about for a little bit, and it's been much needed actually. We postponed it a few too many times, so we
like
are
a mini
here.
Cupcake.
Yeah,
a mini morsel.
And then like there's a cupcake inside of it. Like it's a buy one get one basically. You get your regular usual BS from us, and you actually
the Russian
get some,
dolls.
You get some fun stuff. Yeah, the whoop whoop whoop. Yeah, perfect. Good. There you go. All right, so this week we are going to keep some things the same. We do have my Random Rant, Regional Roundup, Clip of the Week featuring a very, very special man in my life. And then we're going to segue into what we're doing with the second half of our show. So let's get to it, huh? All right. So this... My Random Rant is... a lot of these things are just based on what I see or experience during the day. And this is one of those things. So I just want... I want to hear what you have to say first, though, Ace. So, adult hangovers. What's your opinion with hangovers as you've gotten older? Like what?
Night sweats. The biggest change difference for me is the night sweats. I don't know when this started coming out, but I'll get freaking
night sweats. What the hell?
Yeah, I get night sweats when I drink too much.
Really?
Like somehow I'll wake. Oh yeah, I don't know if this isn't as normal as I thought.
I've heard of like meat sweats. Like if you eat too much meat, you get sweaty. But
yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but okay. So if we're gonna go a little more normal, I'd say for sure the obvious like dehydration in the morning, not wanting to eat anything, just almost kind of like a nauseous.
I'm trying to draw the parallels of hangovers when we were in college in the dorms, and now though, like that's what I'm getting to. I'm not asking what a hangover is. I've had a few. I know what those are. Hangovers, literally, the definition is like your body's dehydrated. That I want to know what's the difference. This is not going the way I expected, by the way.
I'm telling you, I'm more dehydrated. I definitely didn't have sweats or whatever the hell I experienced.
Damn. All right, maybe I got off easy this morning.
I could power up.
So
headaches.
I found you're just describing hangover stuff, bro.
Well, but I didn't get them as common. Like you never.
Well, yeah. So there is the fact that it just didn't happen, or like you could have like a glass of water, you could take a shower, and you'd be right as rain, right? Go right into work, go to class, whatever, like nothing happened. You could shake it off, but now that we're in the 30+ crowd,
you have to prepare.
Shit goes down a little differently now, right? So I found that I can still drink and I can still stay up as late, but the next morning, oh my lordy, it's rough, man. It's rough. So I don't.
What do you experience? Or what's the difference?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I only, like, last night, I only had, like, 6 or 7 beers. I stayed up a little later than usual, got up, went to the office, and for whatever reason, that headache just stayed there. Like, I didn't really have the nausea because I don't normally eat breakfast or anything. I drink a ton of water, but, like, I was still just so dehydrated somehow. It was crazy. But yeah, it just I can't recover as quickly as I used to. Like typically, like if it's like a wedding, like I'm out for like half a day the next day. So I don't know. I'm glad that I can still keep up with the younger bros. That's nice. But the fact that I need to pump the brakes and just chill after, that kind of sucks. But
it depends, because I think another point that came up is when I know friends that prepare now. Like they have to have water by the bedside. They have to take Advil before they start. There's so many the pep. What's the drink that they?
Oh, Pedialyte.
Yeah,
dude.
Like, that preparation is the difference.
I can't remember what holiday it was, but Costco had a sale on Pedialyte. They just like buy it in bulk. Like they knew shit was gonna go down. So that's I drank a glass of water before bed. I had one by my bedside, and I still was dehydrated. Like I'm still drinking water, trying to catch up. No, it's not that bad. I typically by like lunch, like if I'm still feeling bad, then I'm just I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bitch.
Ooh. Naughty.
Alrighty. So, regional roundup. I mean, there's only one thing that really needs to be said. We're gonna say more than that, but Bucks advance. That's
Get the brooms out.
That I'm not gonna bear the lead. We got the brooms out. Nice sweep. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, Bucks fans, and I feel like this last series kind of makes up a little bit for last year. Not really, because it's obviously a different level in the playoffs. I think the expectations were a little bit different too, because last year, I mean, they were by far the most dominant team in the regular season, and you had that big break, and then you also don't have home court, So I think expectations were a little bit different. So I understand that maybe that had to come into play, but definitely a huge statement. I mean, so far we're the only team that's already has its next matchup set up. Only team to sweep. So feeling good. I do want to say also, it is nice to have playoff basketball back. Like, can we agree on that?
Especially with the arenas open back up too. Fans.
You got butts and seats. You got playoff basketball, and you got some damn good series. Like the double OT game last night, Damian Lillard willing them into the playoffs or into the overtime. But like, I mean, shots just weren't going down, and no one else was taking them for the Blazers, so nothing happened. But like, literally willed them into OT. But
I found out they still lost.
And then you got the Lakers. Like the Lakers Sun series is literally just going back and forth the whole time. CP3's got this like CPAP machine on his arm. I don't know what it is or what it does, but
who's softer, him or AD? At least Anthony did, or at least Chris Paul is playing.
I mean,
I shouldn't say that. One's
playing, but now you got both of them. AD and LeBum are not feeling super hot, so it's like, I don't know. It's like all the series are fairly compelling. Like the Celtics, like they weren't gonna get past the Nets, right? Like without Brown in, like there's no way they weren't gonna get past them. And even if they somehow got matched up against someone else and they got out of the first round, they weren't gonna make it past that. I mean, Tatum blew up for a big game after kind of slumping a little bit, so. I mean, I think most of the games have been pretty exciting, so I'm glad that we get to experience this, and I'm really glad that honestly, if the Bucks beat the Nets, I think they can just keep.
I was going to say, what do you think happens? Because this series, does it start Friday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
So, I mean, the nice thing is they get a full week of rest.
Yep.
Which is huge. But DiVincenzo's still out, and I mean the game will literally be won based on perimeter D. Whether Kyrie gets in a slump, starts pouting on the sideline, like, or all of a sudden like Harden just goes super cold. KD's gonna get his. I mean, he's been there before, but I mean Harden in the playoffs. I mean, we all know the memes, right? Like Harden in the playoffs, like there's a reason he had to go to another team because he just kept losing in Houston. So.
I think Brook Lopez, though, could play a big difference because if he pulls out that big man like DeAndre Jordan, whoever else, Blake Griffin. I don't like who's guarding Giannis, by the way. You think you're gonna have Blake Griffin matched on him? Because if he can continue to penetrate, kick the ball out, and the shooters are hitting shots, it's gonna, like you said, though, perimeter defense. It's gonna.
It's limiting their scoring and also being able to score, because like it sounds so simple, right? Like it's a simple blueprint, but to actually like enact it is very difficult. I mean, to be honest, Boston, their defense wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't the worst, but they just couldn't score. They couldn't put up points. So I mean, I think this offense is a lot more well balanced. You got different players that can peak at different times. You got role players coming into their positions now. I mean, this is why you have these veterans, right? This is why you have these role players, so they can blossom into the players that you need them to be most in the playoffs, right? So I am excited. I love that you mentioned a little Brookie Brook, because that dude, I swear, I say it, I feel like I've said it 3 shows in a row, but the guy is the most efficient player on that team. For the minutes that he's playing and the crap that he's doing on the court, it's absolutely absurd.
I'm going to look up, because early in his career, I don't even think he attempted 3-pointers. And the fact that he's become like a spot up 3-pointer is impressive. I honestly, I would argue the opposite. I would say he had the mid and long range shot, and he developed his post game, because he was Charmin soft when we first got him. He was not able to post up in the paint. I mean, he still doesn't do it a ton now, but like now, like he can defend the rim actually, which is nothing you could not have asked. I mean, why do you think we got Moose? Like, we had Moose for that, but I mean, he was too beat up at the time. But whatever, we're getting off track.
Bucks, I mean, or Brewers, I mean, they're at a nice place. Like you see that they realize the potential. It's exciting to watch games now, but for whatever reason they can't pull it all together for a full series. I don't. Yeah. That's literally the definition of teams that don't make it to the playoffs, right? Yeah. Like you have talented teams, you have teams that are great on paper, but then you have teams that just they just win. They can put all the phases together and they just win. And I know Kane's back on IL, but I do not understand why it's just so erratic between the pitching being the best thing of all time. But then, you know what? It becomes 7th inning. Let's just let a bunch of runs go by and we'll lose because we can't score. I don't know. It's frustrating. We're still going to rep. I know you got your Twins hat on. We're still going to rep, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating because you know how good the team can be. You've seen how good the team can be, and you watch how the team is, and it's rough. It's rough.
One of our friends brought up the fact that they've screwed up the rotation too, the pitching rotation, which I think is critical to establish, especially for consistency, because I think that helps everyone to just know who's going out there. And it sounds like they've been kind of mixing in a sixth starter.
Yeah, they broke the 5-man rotation, and then they ended up
basically the Twins' MO.
And they basically kind of penalized themselves there. But I mean, whatever. You're
not going to win series when you're.
No, but that's the thing. Unless you're the Twins and you just keep playing the Orioles, and then you rack up half of your season win totals against the O's. But, I mean, whatever.
That ain't going to happen, though.
All right. How about them Wild, man? How about them Wild?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, speaking of playoffs.
Game 7, though. That's exciting.
We got it to Game 7. Then they basically, I think they scored 3 or 4 goals in one period, the second period, and it was pretty much over with at that point. We lost 6-2. We were down 2-1 early, let in a goal, let in another one, and at that point it was writings on the wall, especially playing in Vegas. We beat them Game 6, rallied at home to win, to force it, but again, we fall short, and it's made me wonder. It's if we can get one team in the playoffs each year from Minnesota, sadly, that's almost been a success for us, as terrible as that sounds. We had the Minnesota United last year, the soccer team. Woo! Lost in the semis of their tournament after having a 2-0 lead with about 70 minutes left in the game. Not ideal. So we're kind of on a bad streak, the Minnesota sports team, and so there's really not much to talk about. They
really do take turns, don't they? I mean, the T-Wolves haven't.
They do.
I don't even know the last time the T-Wolves have seen the playoffs. I don't think I was born yet.
No. Well, we were born because KG.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
Being facetious. But the Vikings will make it, and then they'll miss it the next year. Then the Wild are there. Woo, feeling good. Then the Twins come in, feeling strong.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a Midwest sports fandom. That just seems like our freaking MO almost. And
I mean, okay, would you rather barely ever make the playoffs, or would you rather make the playoffs all the time and then never do anything?
I'd rather make the playoffs all the time.
Really? We talked about this. I like it. You're staying true to your roots. I respect it. I appreciate it. I don't know if I disagree. I would be a little more hesitant to answer just because okay, so this is we're going to talk about so full disclosure, the second half of the show we're bringing on the guys from the Everything Goez podcast again. Awesome dudes, but we're going to be talking about our favorite sports moments. Well, spoiler alert, I've got to live through 2 Packers Super Bowls. That's knowing once you've reached the apex feeling. Of course I'm not a player. Of course I'm not on the field. But as a casual, wasted, drunk fan watching with my family, oh my gosh, I literally it was a long night. If we're talking about adult hangovers, you can only I can just
we'll save it.
I'll have you infer how I felt the next day, but knowing the Packers when they've reached the apex, and then knowing that they could do it again but they just can't, I'm gonna say you don't know how that feels because you haven't been able to experience it, but if you do, I'm gonna hit you up and we're gonna talk, okay? Because it hurts. It's like remember, it's like the cheating girlfriend you keep going back to. Remember I had that analogy? Yeah,
And so was that first season you brought it? No. I wanted to talk more about the Twins though, because the Brewers and Twins seem to have basically a minor league team in their lineups right now. we can't stay healthy. The Brewers don't seem to be healthy, and it seems like we're just giving guys tryouts left and right here, and it's sort of
embarrassing,
like
humiliating.
It is a little embarrassing
defeating.
Because you expect the product to be good on the field, and we have all-stars, or you would assume all-stars up and down the lineup, but I don't get what it is. Baseball's changed now so much. It's like, do you need a larger roster? They've already tried to expand rosters a little bit, and I don't think that helped last year with COVID even. It's getting to a point where you don't even want to go to the games because you don't recognize the players, you know?
Either that or you go to like the first game of the series where they actually have the starters in.
Yeah.
And then the other game's just like, I'm just going to go there and get drunk.
That's a great point, because if like the team loses the first two of a series,
then they're throwing whoever in.
So it's very frustrating to continue to watch the team struggle, especially when my favorite manager, I'm just not going to name him anymore.
Just keep calling him that. Just keep calling him my favorite manager. I'm pretty sure people
as I have two Homer hankies and a Twins hat. God, what a fan.
Fair weather. All right, before we get to the entree of the evening, so we talked about a little bit before Barry Alvarez, Wisconsin athletic director, retiring, stepping down, end of an era, yada yada. Yep. It's very, very emotional. I'm holding back tears. But there was a big question. Like, we weren't sure. Like, okay, like, are they gonna promote someone within? They're gonna get someone externally. What? I mean, we're getting closer and closer to this point where it's like, okay, guys, what's going on? And then out of nowhere, I get a notification today saying that Wisconsin promotes deputy athletic director, which, I mean, that's the most obvious choice. Chris McIntosh to replace Barry Alvarez as AD. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. We're just reaffirming the homegrown talent, I guess.
Just rowing.
Yeah. And then another thing I thought was kind of interesting too. So we just got done with the Hall of Fame from last season, right? Like it just what, month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So now we have college football Hall of Fame nominees coming up. So it's a little bit different ball game, but these names everybody knows, right? Reggie Bush, Andrew Luck, Marshawn Lynch. There's a ton of players. Those guys are headlining. So I mean, those are some big names. Reggie Bush. I mean, everybody was going to remember the Reggie Bush, Vince Young back and forth USC Longhorns game in the championship. I mean, that was the
push. Remember the push against Notre Dame? He pushed Leinart.
He didn't push him. Okay. I just remember like the hype around Bush when he was drafted. It was like, because this guy, It was like I couldn't compare him to anybody else in college, at least that I had witnessed in my lifetime. Up until that point, I mean, we were in like high school then? We're probably
right about that.
We were probably babies still. Yeah, but thought that was kind of interesting. But okay, so we mentioned this briefly, so we're gonna segue into our discussion with the Everything Goez podcast. Get those boys on, get them tuned in, locked up, and we're gonna be talking about our favorite sports memories. So I know it's a little nostalgic, but the weather's nice, we're all cheery. And Ace and I were kind of talking about this, I think, off the show. Like, this is, like, primo time for sports, right? You got NBA playoffs. You got hockey playoffs. You got baseball coming up to the middle of the season almost. You're flying through the months. I mean, it's already June.
Golf, hockey.
Golf is at its apex. I mean, you got everything's rolling. NASCAR is cooking, baby. Woo!
Oh, we gotta have a bet. We gotta have a bet for the match between Bryson and Rogers and Brady and Phil.
What horse do you have in that race?
You got to take Rogers. I'll take Brady. We can see. I'll
just take the most winningest quarterback. Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
You don't have a horse in that race, buddy.
Well, come on. I want to be.
All right, I'll let you lose another bet. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm willing to.
I appreciate that. All right, anything else you want to say before we get the boys on?
No. We'll wrap it up. Clip of the week at the tail end. But yeah,
let's do it now. Now. I'm still high on the butt. I got like what, 3 more days to enjoy the Bucks. The Bucks right now have a perfect postseason record. Okay, I want to enjoy it. Let's do this. So this clip is actually Giannis's post game after they swept the Heat. Right? Yeah, it was his post game interview on court, exclusive. All right, here we go.
We were just trying to focus game at a time. Game 3, we want to come here, still won. And Game 4, we want to be locked in and there's a saying, don't play with your food. We didn't want to play with our food. And we went out there to compete as hard as possible. Obviously, they made it really, really tough for us, but we kept our composure. We kept moving the ball. We kept defending as a team, and we were able to get a win.
We don't play with our food. You don't play with your food. And that's kind of how it felt. I mean, because, okay, so there's 2 other series right now that, that could have been closed out. The Wiz Kids staying alive, the Celtics staying alive, pulling off a dub for each of them. So, I mean, getting that extra rest, I honestly, I got to thank Boston for, taking the Nets one more game. That gave us, 2 extra days of rest. So, that's pretty clutch. So, thanks, guys. Well done, Boston. All right. That's it? That's the baby show? All right.
I think, yeah.
It is. All right. We're going to get Ty and Kris in here from Everything Goez. So please stay tuned. All right. We are back. We're joined by Kris and Tyler. Guys, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Pleasure to be back with you guys.
Looking
a lot better. What a difference a year makes.
Right? Now we all got some sweet lids. Actually get to watch the sports that we're rooting for now.
Fans are coming back, too. That's nice.
You get to hear the Yankees being booed in the stadium. I love it.
A few teams are these days. Not a lot of fans, but they're loud and they're angry.
Yeah.
God, the treatment to Trae Young, too? Holy crap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I love stuff like that. I love it. I love when the fans get on you and you can stick a dagger in their heart. I love it. I love it. Instant villain. I love it.
That's a good
It reminds me of Reggie Miller, man. Reggie Miller was like that.
Mouse at the Palace?
Too.
That stuff there is just... I can see that all day long.
Well, the Knicks killer. He was the Knicks killer, Johnny.
Actually, it'd be cool to see the Knicks go far, though, for not being in the playoffs for a while.
I mean, they basically held a state parade when they won one game, so I can understand if they actually end up coming back and winning. I mean, Trae Young's gonna be on suicide watch, but the whole city of New York's gonna be absolutely crazy.
Dude, it's like they got to the playoffs and the team died. It's like all their big names, Randall, all of them, they just aren't doing anything.
Yeah, they don't even look like the same guys anymore.
No,
how do you guys feel about LeBron? You ready for LeBron to get the boot?
I'm focused on the East, man. I'm worried about the Nets. The Bucks swept, but dude, getting through those 3, it's gonna be insane.
We'll see, because without AD, I don't think they're coming out. But
no,
honestly,
you gotta have both. You gotta have them both.
The Suns are good too, man. CP3 and Bogut, they're playing well.
Frank Kaminsky, Wisconsin product.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna shed a tear if LeBron goes home early.
No. God, no. Honestly, if he would have got knocked out in the play-in, I would have been ecstatic. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they said
that.
I think they said
the last
what,
time.
Though. Go ahead. Just cut me off, Dad. Go ahead.
Look. You're too far for me to hand you a tissue. Go ahead.
No, good. I was gonna say, I think the last time they were saying today a team that won the championship got defeated in the first round was the Spurs in 2015. That's how long it's been. Yeah. But go ahead.
Ooh.
I think we're all holding our breath in Philadelphia to see what happens with Embiid.
That's right. He's out for, what is this, game 6 now?
Game 5, he's out.
I mean, they'll force him if they have to play him in 6, but I mean, that's not something you want to rush back from.
What's scary is it's a partial tear, partial tear, man. I mean, it's like, do you really? How bad do you want it? How bad? Do you want to go risk that?
Well, AD's not playing with a groin injury, so
he was banged up before that though.
Yeah, I shouldn't harp on him, but
that's not. But it's the NBA playoffs. I mean, they got 10 less games this year, but still, everyone's playing hurt. You're not going in 100%. If you are, then you weren't playing during the season. Like, everybody's got something going on.
We talk about this a lot. Tyler and I always talk about this. Who do you want to trade, Embiid or Simmons? Because both those guys are hurt every year.
Yeah, I think this is actually the first playoff series where they both actually played majority of the games, and then go figure, Embiid gets hurt. Like,
when they both play, they're great.
When?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
If.
You gotta both their contracts got to be coming up soon, or
they've extended. They both got extended. Yeah,
they both got extended.
I always said
I like Embiid.
As much as I love Embiid, though, he's injured more than Simmons. I mean, every year he's dealing with something.
Yeah, and they even tried load management too, like they did for Kawhi. Like give him a few nights off towards once playoffs come, and I mean. Still, as we said, once playoff comes, it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I'm focused on Brooklyn right now. Like I still feel like eventually, obviously, it's probably going to go through Philly.
3
but
of the best. Yeah.
I have no fear in Brooklyn.
I don't know. I don't even know. Like, we don't have the perimeter D to stop that. Like, unless they go on like the super cold streak and like vintage playoff Harden returns. I don't know.
Are you a Bucks fan?
Huh?
Are you a Bucks fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't
man.
see.
Sorry to hear
you can't
that.
see the swag on the other side.
I can't. They say getting Drew Holiday though. They officially have a big three now.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. A lot of people wouldn't have agreed that before the season started because he's been kind of a journeyman, kind of looking for his home. But dude, he's come back to life full force. I mean, both sides of the ball. Like, I mean, Bledsoe. I mean, he was great during the regular season, but he just disappeared in the playoffs. Like, just absolutely, there's nothing there. There's no.
And Holiday's a big body too, especially if he's asked.
He's a bigger guy, and he brings it. He brings it on defense, which is what we need right now with DiVincenzo out. So.
And if need be, he can drop 20. I mean, he's a great player. But the thing is the Nets haven't played anyone with good defense yet. You know, so you look at all the points they're giving up too as well. They don't play defense. So if you get a team like the Sixers or Milwaukee who kind of play defense, I don't think the Nets are going far. I really don't. Everyone's giving them the ring already. I don't think so.
If Giannis can actually make free throws, because he'll get to the line. If he can actually make his free throws like he has been, I think we're in every game. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a dozen points right there for most games. Like, that's just sitting there. And
I was shocked.
Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing to Ben Simmons.
You're right, the hack of Ben.
Yeah.
You know he can't shoot for shit. I mean, come on.
Which I didn't know there was a shot clock violation for like taking so much time at the free throw line.
Dude, they've been counting. Dude,
Violation.
the Heat fans were so triggered they were counting down Giannis whenever he got the ball for free throws. It was so bad.
I didn't even know there was a shot clock for that either until I saw it on Instagram.
I mean, he gets away with a lot of shit, right? We can agree with that, right? He gets preferential treatment. The Euro step, I mean, it's just traveling, bro. It's fine. I get it.
I mean, Harden and those guys invented that.
Sure.
So.
And I was shocked that the Heat got swept. Like, it was nothing, man.
I mean, the first game, I definitely wouldn't say it was nothing. I got my jimmies rustled. I mean, I was pretty worried. I mean, because you got to remember, last year, that's who knocked us out, right? So, you know, to have them back, but now, like, okay, A, it's not the same Heat team. B, home court actually exists. You know, they're not in their little bubble anymore. So.
It's like that was the caption. This isn't the bubble anymore.
That's literally the first thing I said. I'm like, you know what? They were a great bubble team because they played great on the road. And, well, there was no fans. But the Bucks, they had the best record in the East, right? Which is sweet, but if you don't have home court, who gives a shit? You're just playing a basketball game. You don't have all the drunken, angry fans screaming.
See, home court doesn't matter in the Dallas Clippers game. Not one of those teams went at home yet.
I cannot believe that one. I think it was Game 3 where Luka just exploded. He scored like the first 19 points or something, and they ended up losing.
I feel bad for Luka. You could truly see there's no one there to help him. It's a one-man show over there.
Yeah.
But is a part of that the offense? Because I haven't watched much of the Mavs this year, but recently, but the offense always revolves around him though too. So
well, they don't have anybody.
I was gonna say it has to.
But I mean, like, they're all in the NBA for a reason. Don't you think you could find somebody that could at least?
Oh, you would think.
But if you look at their roster, Powell, you know, all those guys, they're like bench players. They're not studs. They don't have a true Porzingis. He's crap. You know,
oh my God,
he's a 7'3" twig. You can't play. You can't post him up. You can't do anything.
You would think with that height that you could just dunk 30 points.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Just get the ball.
Hey, you're shattering stereotypes, Tyler. Nice job. Just because you're tall, it doesn't mean you can play ball. Doesn't mean it.
It's true, man. It's true. There's a lot of big guys that don't even have hops. You would think just like jump a little tiny bit and touch the rim. Crazy.
Well, I mean,
you probably are too young to remember Sean Bradley. What was he, like 7'7", like on the Nets, dude? Or no, he was actually on the Mavs too. He literally could just reach up and just dunk it, but like he was so fragile. Like if he got touched in the paint, he just buckled and bent over. Like he was just done.
Jeez, man.
Sounds like.
But that's the old style basketball. Those days are really gone. You think about it. Back then they had Ewing, Olajuwon. You know, they had all the big names, and that's who you went through. Now it's just 53 pointers a game. You know.
Yeah.
Hope they missed a few.
They don't want to develop that post game. Could you imagine Porzingis with like the Kareem hook shot? Like if he could have, nobody's gonna block that. Same with Giannis, really. They can't. They
Giannis mid-range shot. Don't talk to me about that. Get out of here. Tell Ben Simmons to shoot a 3-pointer and get back to me, okay?
Hey, he shot a couple at the start.
He didn't make them though, did he?
No,
he made one.
I'd be worried if he made one.
We might have a parade.
In Philly, yeah, they might actually.
So, who do you guys think's the MVP this year? Everyone's saying Joker. I mean, Embiid looked good, but
After
he's injured.
After last night, I mean, like, if you just want to look like straight box score, like straight stats, I think Joker walks away with it. But like, as far as like what they mean to the team, I mean, look at this. I'm pretty sure the Wiz kids are winning right now. Like that, they should have closed that out, right? Embiid, that team can't do anything.
Are you talking about MVP for playoffs? You talking about the whole season here?
No, the whole season.
I mean, you got to throw Curry in there. Know what the historic like kind of season he had.
Yeah,
no?
Chris Paul,
I agree.
Curry. I think big man Joker. I didn't follow enough this year, so honestly, I'll defer to you guys.
I'm gonna go. I know that Chris just mentioned that. Hey, like the game's evolved. I don't like the new game, bro. I'm sorry. Like I don't like how I don't like how the NFL's pushing offense and passing. I'm a good defense. Let's run the ball kind of game, which has never been a Packers thing. So I only get to see it in Madden if I wanted to see it for the Packers. But like that's what I want. I want the defense and control. That's it. And
you think Aaron Rodgers is coming back?
Of course.
Oh, no.
Of course.
Yeah, you think so?
You were holding that in for a little bit, weren't you? You wanted to ask that right away.
I mean, I'm just saying, if he wanted to come to New Orleans, like
nah, bro, that's Taysom's team, dude. No way.
That's gonna be Jameis probably.
The Packers passed the big hurdle today. If they would have cut him, it would have been like $38 million against the cap. Now it's down to like 25, I think.
They'll cut him next year. They'll work something out next year.
So that's the thing. Like that's the thing that makes no sense. So I know Schefter was really desperate to get some retweets and to get some people clicking on his articles before ESPN or NFL Live went up. But like
he took to him.
He
gave.
Oh, dude, no, they're gonna get me on a roll.
Another one.
But like they literally had nothing to comment on. Like there was nothing new. He just brought up old stuff that already happened. Like okay, Jordan Love was drafted a year ago. That's nothing new. They didn't sign any wide receivers over a year ago. That's nothing new. They lost in the NFC Championship again. That happened 3 months ago. Like none of that was new. And then the fact that if you look at the actual contract structure, it makes no sense. If they were to trade or cut him this year, they would eat so much in dead cap.
Yep.
It would literally cripple the team. Like there's no way they could get rid of him. He could retire, of course. He could always retire.
Yeah.
Brett Favre did it. To say F you, I'm going to go play for the Jets. I'm actually going to go to the Vikings after and screw you guys. I've seen it. Sure, it's great. But, like, financially, there's no way. They couldn't deal him. There's no way.
Well, they said if they cut him now, the cap hit will be spread over 2 years. It's like $21 million this year, $17 the next year. But if you guys wait till next year, you actually saved $26 million in cap space.
So that was my point. That I was expecting there to be a lot of drama and bullshit to go through, but I was expecting to be a year later.
Yeah.
Like
he's come out on multiple like reports to say it's nothing about Jordan Love being drafted. But if you look at the Packers, like what have the Packers truly done for Aaron Rodgers? They never draft a receiver in the first round. They draft a quarterback in the first round. Mm-hmm. It's like,
but they didn't lose. They didn't lose because of that. Like,
no, I know, defense, but it would have helped. It would have helped, though, definitely.
I mean, what NFC championships the last 2 years?
He's still got MVP, so like I don't get it. I
mean, you think that the way he balls out with like not that great of talent around him on the offense, imagine he did go out there and get like just these great studs to play with him.
I'm gonna tell you, bro, the Packers had the greatest. They had 5 amazing wide receivers in 2011, the year after they won the Super Bowl. They had no defense, and the Giants just shit stomped them.
Yeah,
that's the Dallas Cowboys every year.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, that's true. Actually, I do. But for fantasy though, I started Dak. I had both Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. People are like, you can't start both the Cowboys. I'm like, Dak's throwing up 500 yards a game and like 4 TDs. Of course, I'm going to start them both. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? As Dak was laying there holding his foot facing the wrong way, I'm just thinking in my head, Tony Romo's up in the booth. Please put that number 9 back on him.
Dude, you know what? I'm sure a lot of people thought that, but when that dumbass said, I think it's like a cramp or something. No, his ankle is hanging, bro. Are you looking?
Yeah.
It's dangling there, Tony. I love you, Tony. You're my favorite commentator, but shut up. He's just cramped up.
Well, it's going to be interesting because not only did Aaron Rodgers miss that voluntary workout, so did all your receivers, and now your camp's open tomorrow for the OTAs. It's going to be interesting who shows up tomorrow.
I mean, to be fair though, like
probably rookies
a lot of the vets don't show up though. Like literally, like there was a teammate, a friend of a teammate got married in Hawaii, and that's why they were all there. There was like I think like 9 or 10 players that were there. Mandatory OTAs start next week, so that's going to be a little more telling, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's like you skipping like study hall in school. Like, I mean, are you really that worried about it? Not really.
How about Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, for Favre, all those years where we thought who's he going to retire? Is he not? Dude would skip everything. He would skip everything in summer. He'd come in the middle of preseason. All right, I'm going to play. Let's go. Like
he did that with the Vikings.
He did it for the Packers for like 3-4 years, and then he went and he did it to the Vikings. It's like, what are you going to do? Tell him no?
Yeah.
No, sorry. We're going to start somebody else. That ain't going to happen.
This is... Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how about Shannon Sharp not telling Julio that they were live on air? And Julio just came out and they spilled everything.
Did him dirty, man. Did him dirty.
That was crazy.
I don't know if it was one of those. Part of me thinks that like they had talked about it beforehand, but it never was like super clear
because Skip's reaction, he was shocked. Like he was like,
well, you heard the woman in the background. The woman's like, "Hey, tell him he's on the air."
Yeah.
MBD.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch it.
Hey, this is a good question for you guys because you're Saints fans and you're Packers fans, and you guys dominate for how long? If Aaron Rodgers does leave and go somewhere else, and now that Drew Brees is retired, who's the best team in the NFC now? And it's okay if you want to see Dallas. I mean, it's okay.
Buccaneers, maybe.
I was gonna say, how would it not be the Bucs?
They re-signed everybody.
Yeah, they got the same team back, and they drafted so well the last couple of years. I can't see why.
I'm gonna say the Seahawks.
You know what? Makes no sense to me either is that the Buccaneers, they go and win the Super Bowl, right? They beat Kansas City. They re-sign everybody. NFL comes out with the power rankings, and they have Kansas City won. How does that make sense?
Because Kansas City beat up their offensive line. They're
the
going to be
Buccaneers
good.
Beat them in the Super Bowl. Like, how can they not be number one coming into the season? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Dude, you cannot listen to the rankings, bro. It's only okay if your team is doing really crappy and you want to feel better. You look at the rankings and you use them if they work for you. But if you're trying to make them make sense, they won't ever do that.
I really want to see how well the Browns play this year because you can see how well Baker played last year. They got Jadeveon Clowney, and every year it's like they're taking another step. And that whole division is good with Baltimore and the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Well, if Roethlisberger retired, I'd be a lot happier. He's just,
no kidding.
I can't believe he didn't this offseason. Just watching them just crumble, like going undefeated, just playing so many bad teams, and then just that first loss, and then that just cascade, and just like limping into the playoffs.
I think New Orleans is in a little bit of a pickle. I don't know. They're in an interesting. Well, they have 0 on the cap, and didn't they lose a bunch of players anyways? So they're going to regress easily. I mean,
whoa! Let me back my team up here.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Like the question was, who do you think is going to come out? And I'm like, well, I think the Seahawks deserve something too. But
I love Russ. Russ works magic. The thing with the Saints, though. I love our GM. I don't know how he does it every single year. We're so over the cap, and we got rid of all these veterans, right?
Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders, some of the defensive players that we had on 1-year. We kept all of our key players. It's still the same defense, still the same offense besides Emmanuel Sanders. I think the Saints will be really well if somehow Jameis Winston, starts, throws well, drops the intercept. We all can see he can throw 5,000 passing yards. He can do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And if they keep Taysom Hill on the side, the play offense, like the tight end, the running back, and block, I think they'll be the same Saints. Drew Brees, my favorite quarterback, great accuracy, but he couldn't throw the deep ball.
Dink, dunk, dink, dunk.
Well, they put Jameis in. Didn't they
without Kamara, I don't think he actually would have had over 200 yards passing in any game this year.
You got to think, we still have Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas is coming back from an injury. We drafted more offensive linemen. If Jameis comes out after his eye surgery and is throwing well, and Taysom comes in and runs it, and I still think they could be a very good team.
You just got to be well stocked and crab legs.
I think Tampa Bay got hot at the right time. I mean, me personally, I just Tom Brady is one of the best of all time, but I think people get pressure on him, he folds. And I think things are going to change next year. I don't think he's going to be as dominant as he was in the playoffs. I think it's going to change. I think teams they change and they evaluate tape and they look at things, how to get to him, how to make him uncomfortable. And I think it's going to happen again.
I mean, you look at that championship game, dude. He did not play well at all. At all. The Packers barely blitzed him. He chucked up 3 interceptions. He looked just really rough in the second half. I mean, the Packers just could not. It didn't matter. Like, they couldn't stop Fournette. They couldn't stop Jones. It didn't matter. Like, they were just going to run down. It was
their defense is good. Their defense is really good.
Their defense is amazing, and I think teams are. for whatever reason, they forgot that having good offensive linemen is a strong thing to have in a good football franchise. So obviously the Chiefs, they doubled down like, okay, like we effed up. Like this is, I mean, did you see the stat? Mahomes had like 435 yards rushing just away from other from defenders. Like insane. Like he literally was running for his life. That's kind of how I felt both games that the Packers played against Tampa. Like Rodgers literally was just running for his life out there, and it's like, if he could have had Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, he could have had Devontae. It doesn't matter if you can't have time, you can't throw.
That's true.
That's the only reason why I don't really. I get the wide receiver argument, but I don't like.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
Browns
though,
take was interesting though because they got Clowney too, didn't they? Jadeveon Clowney, the Browns, Cleveland.
Yeah, they did.
So.
I think he's just a commodity. He's just like a name at this point, though. I mean, he's literally been he's just been hopping teams, just collecting a paycheck at this point.
Yeah, he has that 1 year deal with Tennessee.
He's Roger Clemens. He's the 1 year deal. He comes back for 1 year, and then that's it. And then he'll jump from team to team. But I tell you what, the West is going to be interesting, man. I think Arizona. I picked them last year, and I think they're going to shock a lot of teams. I really do. And then you have the Rams with Stafford out there now.
I'm really excited.
I forgot about them.
That division was so bad for so long, and then now it's been so good for so long. Like those they just love to beat each other up too in primetime games. Like you give me Seahawks on a Sunday night, delicious.
I'm excited about the Trevor Lawrence and Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer is going down in Florida too. That's gonna be a big eye opener down there.
Oh, do they get over under 5.5, 4.5 wins? They got it.
I'm not sure.
In that division, I mean, it's not crazy to think about. I mean, they were surprisingly competitive last year, even with good quarterback.
I was gonna say they've been drafting very good defensive players, and they picked up some good defensive players this offseason.
Mm-hmm. When you have like a top 3 pick like 8 years in a row, it helps.
Got to be good eventually, right?
Well, that was the Browns, and that was the Bucks too. We're just going to keep even the 49ers, they literally drafted defensive linemen like 3 years in a row. And then linebacker. It's like, okay, we have a top defense now. Let's go.
What do you guys think about Watson? You think he's going to play?
Ooh,
honestly, I haven't heard of.
I was going to say, like,
not with the Texans. I don't think he's playing with the Texans.
People have done a lot worse and kept playing, though.
That's true.
You guys are the gambling guys. So I'm surprised you haven't been watching Vegas. Man, Vegas is telling the whole story. The Texans are underdogs in all their games.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm gambling, it's to help me get enjoyment out of a game I'm already going to be watching, or a fight, or whatever. I'm not going to watch a Texans game if you paid me. There's nothing there that interests me at all. Like
the over and under of games you're going to watch is 1.
Maybe if I'm like tied to a chair and just pass out and it's on in the background, maybe.
Eyeballs are duct taped open.
There is.
It's you watch. I don't know how O'Brien was able to dismantle that team so quickly, but he did it. Like in his own way, he's a mastermind. He destroyed an entire franchise, in off season and like part of a regular season. I don't know how. That's amazing.
Yeah, they gave him too much power and.
The thing that's going to interest me is what does the league do? Because if the league doesn't suspend him, I mean, they suspended Zeke for how many games, and there was basically no evidence against him at all.
Players aren't even in the NFL. If they have a transgression going in like through college into the draft, they get in trouble.
Yeah.
They if someone swats a fly wrong, they're going to get suspended. So they feel like they have to do something. Goodell's all about flexing on his players too. That's his
Vikings. The Vikings cornerback, the rookie cornerback. We're curious to see what happens to him because he got in trouble in Dallas for domestic abuse.
How do you guys feel about that in general? Do you think the NFL should go around policing its own players, or is that something that should be left to the authorities?
I think that take Zeke's case for instance, right? Zeke was proven innocent. There was no evidence. I think it should have ended there. I think if it's the police find something and then the NFL can jump in and be like, all right, this is how we're going to handle it too. But if the police come back and say there's no evidence, why is there a reason for the NFL to step in at that point?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you have video of you drop kicking your girlfriend in the chest, I mean,
or
there
Ray
you go. Yeah. It wasn't me.
Hey, bro.
At the same token, they have to protect the shield and they got to protect their name. And I think they're trying to deter other players from doing something stupid, which you're seeing a lot of it. I mean, not to jump the baseball, but look at that Acuna guy. Whatever his name is. He's
yeah.
beating the crap out of his girlfriend with the door. Azuna. Beating the crap out of his girlfriend or fiance, and his door is open. The cops walk in and actually see him beating the crap out of her.
It's
These
always
guys just
abuse
don't
too. Like,
think.
why are these guys always hitting women, man? Like, you got all the money in the world.
It's abuse. It's gonna be some sort of gun charge or marijuana. Those are the big three that I've seen. I don't think you can fix stupid, man. I really don't think you can fix stupid.
You can't. You can't.
You're talking about gambling. One of my favorite off seasons.
They're high draft picks too. Well,
what is the first franchise that's going to have a player that's arrested? Not charged, not just charged, actually arrested. Lions, Cowboys, Raiders, man. Those are always the top three.
Dallas in the 90s.
Bengals. The Bengals were good for a hot minute too. Vontaze Burfict. Oh, he was always good for a charge every other year.
I saw in the 90s had a coke house with whores and everything in there. They're just like, they didn't care. They partied it up.
I saw this crazy video today. I wanted to ask you guys about it. Just speaking of baseball real quick. This guy came out and talked about how Derek Jeter is the most overrated shortstop of all time.
Overrated?
He hasn't watched a lot of baseball.
He said that the jump plays... He said that the jump plays he made from shortstop are just common plays that people make nowadays, and I was just like, bro, what are you talking? Like he was pulling out all these like different stats nowadays that like show how he wasn't even a good hitter and he wasn't clutch. I'm just like,
no, watch
what?
If he's not a good regular season hitter, whoop-de-doo. He's probably one of the most clutch like players in all of baseball.
Oh man,
he's Brady. Like, he's maybe not the most athletic guy on the field, but when you need him to make a play, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
You saw all these Boston people commenting, too. Like,
no, of course. Shocker.
And
it must have been a...
Shocker. No, and, like, these Boston guys were, like, even being Boston fans, like, how can you say that? Like, yeah, sure, he might not have been, like, the most powerful hitter, but he brought so much to the game.
It must have been a Pirates fan. They're always salty.
I was just shocked when I saw that.
They didn't... The whole discussion when they signed A-Rod was, are they going to move Jeter to third?
Oh, my gosh.
There was no chance of him moving position.
No chance, man.
No.
You're telling me in the past 10 years, like, there was a better shortstop that had a bigger name, you know what I mean?
If you spend 20 years in Major League Baseball, you by definition cannot be shitty. Like, you don't last 2 decades being a bad player. I'm sorry. Like,
well, was he one vote shy of being an anonymous Hall of Famer?
Yeah. And you know what? The guy did it right. You never heard about him in the news. Mm-hmm. You know, he's just off the field. He did his own thing. And I heard stories where if he had people come to his house, they had to put their cell phones in a basket. They were not allowed to take video or nothing of his house.
Everybody should do that. Everybody should do that. You go out to a club, no phones. No, like you don't need to bring a piece. You don't need to bring your Glock into a club, bro. You can't grind on a grill with a Glock. I'm sorry. It's not. It doesn't work.
No, you got too much. You got Instagram. You got all these things they got to post on all the time.
Everybody's got one of these, man. Everybody's a journalist. Everybody's a journalist now.
Yep.
It's like all these guys that spend all day posting on Twitter.
Did you guys watch the Last Dance documentary by chance?
Yes.
So you remember, like, towards the end, like, MJ was getting, like, really freaked out because he wanted his private life, he wanted his personal space, he was sick of the crowds and the people. Can you imagine if he had to deal with the shit that people have to deal with now if you're an athlete?
Oh, man.
He would have retired so much earlier. Like, you know what? Nope, peace. Nope. I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't deal with the media, man. Most of it's never even true, and it's just like I've watched we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. He goes on the Pat McAfee show. And Pat McAfee will bring up like an article someone wrote about, and he just laughs. He goes, "That's not what we talked about."
Yeah, and that's the worst part. Is you can literally Google. If you Google hard enough, you can find whatever you want to find. If you're looking for something,
you can make a good story. You can make a good story.
Sure.
That's like Carson Wentz was on the same exact show, and everybody thought he hated the coach and wanted him out of there. And Pat McAfee asked him about it. He goes, "Bro, I had no beef with that coach. I mean, I don't even know where it came from."
It's context, my man. It's all about context. If you took a snippet of our show and you could put something together that's like anti-Semitic or something, sure, you can say that I said that. No, like you just took no. You can't do that. But that's the thing. Like when you go ask about Aaron Rodgers, like the dude hasn't said anything until his interview with Kenny Mayne. Like that was literally the only time he talked since the post-game presser. After the championship game,
and these are such bad times. You say the wrong thing, or even think that you said the wrong thing, they'll cancel you quick, man.
You
this
say
whole
one
cancel
word,
culture.
You say one word in a paragraph. No, that's it. We're locking on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a tennis fan, but that's like that girl that plays tennis. She's at the French Open or whatever. But since she will not talk to the media, they were going to fine her, and she dropped out. She's like, I suffer from mental issues where she can't be in a room talking to people about stuff like that. And she openly came out and said she can't do it anymore. And they were going to fine her. It's crazy.
Really?
So she dropped out of the French Open. She's the number 2 ranked player in the world.
How
I think it's got to come.
I find that fascinating though, because it's like I get that the sport playing is different when you're like when an audience is there versus all the lights on you to actually speak. But that's so weird that you can perform on such a high level with so many thousands of people watching, but then when it comes to like legitimately dissecting what happened out there, it's almost like a mental block.
I think
look at Marshawn Lynch.
Social anxiety too. Like if you have like Asperger's or anything like that, like you can't take social cues. You can't actually talk to people like that. So if you're playing the sport, like you're just playing, that's your outlet, right? That's your zone. If you're talking to someone and you're just, you can't focus or you can't stay, comfortable. I mean, that's totally different. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch is a good example. That's what I was thinking too, personally. I'm just here.
He was sick and tired of the media. Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Everybody should do that. There needs to be some sort of accountability. You can't.
Yes.
You can't constantly be hounding somebody for anything. Like, there's no sense of privacy.
That whole locker access, the whole locker access is always driving me nuts. It's like these dudes,
especially after a loss, man. Like, last thing I want to do is talk to the media.
Did you guys check out the XFL when it got rebooted last?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to see like after they scored, after interceptions, touchdowns, whatever? They literally would pull the mic up on them like immediately, like, "Hey, why'd you throw that pick?" Like, maybe if you're gonna get something quotable, that's when you're gonna do it, right? Like right after, like obviously in the NFL, there you can't really do that. Like if Brady throws a pick and he's throwing his helmet and his Surface tablet, like you're not gonna be like, "Hey man, what the hell happened?" Like,
but
like
it would be. It wouldn't be on Fox Sports anymore.
You go, oh gosh, no, you have to put on HBO or some shit. But yeah, like if you're going for quotes and you're going for like emotion, that's like you need to do it like right then. You can't go way after the fact to say, "Hey, remember way back then when that happened?" Like,
that's
no, like, you're just trying to fabricate shit. You're just trying to get clicks. You're trying to get links, and I don't know why it's everyone gets a pass now. Like you can just do that. Like I'm not saying that athletes they have to do this. I think that it's nice that they do this, but they shouldn't be required to.
Yep.
But you know what, that whole thing with the media, it's not just sports, it's everything anymore. Like if you hear about someone getting shot, the first thing they do is they mention color, and it drives me nuts because all that does is throws fuel in the fire.
Yep.
Not knowing the facts about what happened or what's going on. It's a black man was shot by a white guy, or a white guy was shot by a black man. End of story. And it gets everyone all riled up.
Yep.
And they know that too. I mean, how many people even like continue listening or continue reading after that? Like you see that headline, you're like, oh, ooh. It's the same thing with sports. It goes back and forth. I mean, if you see like Rodgers hates his team, wants to leave, like, well, he never said that, and no one's ever actually corroborated that, and you don't have an actual source. You have an unnamed source. Like, okay, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if Rodgers does stay there, I think they're gonna run the table again. I think they're gonna be in the NFC Championship again. I really, honestly, I don't think that there's anyone there that's gonna challenge them.
Chris, I mean, I don't think my heart can take a third NFC Championship loss in a row, man.
Come on, that was here.
I don't think I could do it.
You guys rather have your team consistently make the playoffs year after year and not bow out early or whatever the case, or just make it every 5-10 years?
I mean, that's tough because the Saints, man, they went to the playoffs how many years in a row, and just every year it's disappointment.
Hey, look, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'll take the playoffs every year.
I was gonna say you actually have both. Between the four of us, we have everything covered because the Packers will make it every year and they'll break your heart every year. The Vikings, they'll make it every few years. So, the Saints consistently great, but Minneapolis Miracle, right?
Yeah.
And if the Cowboys win 10 or 11 games, we lose the first round of the playoffs anyway. So there you go.
I think
unless the refs help you against the Lions, then you're good.
I think that pass interference with the Rams, I think, was worse than the Minnesota Miracle because that was like the game to go to the Super Bowl.
They were both so bad, though. They were both.
I know.
I harassed this kid all the time.
It was early. The Minnesota Miracle was at least early,
The Minneapolis Miracle is that they won a playoff game. That's all it was. They were so surprised.
Hey, spoiler. Yeah, spoiler. That is not my favorite memory.
No.
As a Minnesota fan.
Also same. I literally he just Saints player just tackled another Saints player. That's all it was. You don't have to give it a fancy. You don't have to give it a fancy name and immortalize it. Put it on a pedestal. Homie just tackled his brother. It's fine.
It sucked too because that guy was right there for the tackle.
Oh, he
took him out. He took him out so hard.
They like to get their own ways. I mean, everyone wants to you want to be the superstar, right? You want to make that play. You want to be the stud. You want to be the guy in Sports Center. Well, you were, but not for the right reasons.
You know what sucks is that kid was a rookie, and he is going to be known for that for the rest of his life. Because the past 4 years that we've had him, he's been I think it was a top 10 free safety every single year. But he'll never be known as a good safety because that one play probably everyone will know by that one play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I actually picked Minnesota to go far last year as my hot take when we do our playoff projections. Boy, I'm staying out of that division.
Well,
don't pick him this year either.
What do you think about Goff? Do you think Goff's just a bridge QB, or can he actually do some damage there for the Lions?
He's not going to do anything, no. That team's still the same.
Dude, whenever someone mentions Jared Goff and his pedigree, top quarterback, 3 points to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, that's all. You're talking about someone being known for something. Jared Goff will be 3 points to the Super Bowl. That's all I will ever know him for.
Yeah.
But
you know what? The Rams are going to be fine, too. I think Stafford's going to shine. They're good no matter if they had Stafford or not. They have the best defense in the league. They have a lot of weapons offensively. They're going to be a great team. Are they a Super Bowl team? I don't think so. I don't see it.
All right. Rams have the best defense in the league. Packers beat the Rams and then lose to the Bucs. So what am I missing here, bud?
The Bucs got hot. Sometimes teams get hot at the right time, and the Bucs were that team. They really were.
To be totally fair, I was way more worried about the Rams than the Bucs.
Stafford game, Stafford Rams team versus the Packers is, I think, a different outcome.
I don't.
Maybe not a different
outcome. I want them in the play. I want them to meet in the playoffs so badly.
I do too.
But the thing about Stafford is, can he stay healthy? That's the thing about Stafford.
He's been pretty good obviously early in his career, everyone called him Glassford because he was always hurt. But I mean,
Glassford.
I don't.
But
think
he had back problems last year.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not getting any younger either. But also, the Rams have a much more talented offense and a much better line. So I think it's apples and oranges there. But I don't know. I mean, that's a big thing too. I mean, they put all their eggs in the Stafford basket. So if it doesn't work out, it's going to be kind of rough.
My hot take this year is the Giants. I think that the Giants have a really good young defense, picking some really good people. Now you got Saquon coming back. They went and got some receivers. They got an offensive line now. Now all the eyes are on Daniel Jones and Jason Garrett.
Danny Dimes, baby.
You got your running back. You haven't been the best quarterback that we've had, but you got everybody here. So let's see what you got. Because if you put it together, they have a great team.
Yeah.
But everyone forgets who their offensive coordinator is. Jason Garrett, Mr. I love to run the ball.
That's God. Well.
Yeah, and Saquon, who I don't want to run north and south, so it should go well.
Yeah.
It should go well.
I tell you what, though, I'm truly interested in seeing how the East is going to be this year. I think Washington has a great team with all the talent they have defensively. The offense is going to be a lot better now this year. I think the Giants do have a good team as long as they don't blow it themselves. And if Dallas, this is my hot take for Dallas. If Dallas's defense is a top 10 defense, they will go to the NFC Championship game. It's going to depend on the defense. Everyone's writing that defense off, but they're going back to Marinelli's scheme where they were the 10th ranked in the league. They have some really good weapons on that defense, and I think that they're going to be fine.
Wow.
But that East is going to be a lot different. The East is going to be amazing, I think.
All right, Cowboys NFC Championship. What do the Saints do? Where do they go?
I don't think the Saints are going to win the division, but I think the Saints make it to playoffs. How far they go in the playoffs is a big question mark.
You get three wild cards. Panthers, they're starting Darnold, so who the hell knows what's going to happen. The rest of the roster is not much improved. I'm sorry, the Falcons, they whatever they get for Julio Jones won't matter until next year anyway, most likely. So they're not going to be a factor. So you got the reigning Super Bowl champs. 3 wild card spots. I think the Saints have as good a chance as anybody is getting a wild card.
You got to think too. The Saints still have they were top 5 defense last year. They still have that same exact defense, and it's going to be 100%.
with you, bro.
No. I know. But I think
the Saints are going to win that division.
I was gonna say that they're bringing 100% capacity back to the dome too. It's not easy to play in that dome.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
It's gonna be
Dallas
loud
is
in
going to quiet that dome.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they
That's a
play?
wager.
They play?
That's
Oh, yeah.
They play.
Oh, there we go.
You see, last time
Oh.
Dallas came to the dome, though, they were the hottest team, but Teddy Bridgewater stopped that real quick, and Dallas went down.
I'll
Plus,
be
Sean
honest with
Payton.
you.
Sean Payton's a genius.
He's a great coach.
As bad
Great
as
coach.
Jameis, or I shouldn't say Jameis is bad, but like as talented as he is, the boneheaded plays, I don't think you're going to see that.
I think that's what's nice,
So-
too. That's giving me hope, too, is like, yeah, Drew Brees retired, but Sean Payton's a heck of a coach. I think he's going to make something happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you think when Drew Brees got injured with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill, I think we went 8-1, one loss out of those 9 games
Well,
that he was injured.
That's
in
where
2
like,
years.
the Cowboys across the board to me are better in a lot of different areas than the Saints. But
Oh.
Oh, I agree with you
Whoa.
100%.
I would you can't. What are you going to argue, Johnny? That quarterback's better.
Oh, the defense. Are you kidding me?
Defense, yeah. But I
Name
don't
3
really-
players on Dallas defense. I'll wait.
Lawrence. Is Lawrence? Come on, Chris, help me out. Lawrence.
Gregory, Anthony
Van Der
Brown,
Esch.
LVE, Smith.
It's a lot of injuries I'm hearing.
No, you know, the problem with Dallas's defense is they never invested in a safety, and they never invested in a fat boy in the middle. Now we have plenty of that. And we're going to probably have the best linebacking core in football if
We
they can
got
stay
the
healthy.
fattest guys on the D line. We're set.
Well, linebackers. Yeah, but the linebackers.
We
are
never had a one technique defensive tackle ever. We never had someone else over 300 pounds in the middle. Now we got guys that's 350 plus. And you know, if you notice, the offensive line was getting into the secondary. They were blocking our linebackers. It's
You
going
know
to
what
make a big difference.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a lot of who dat? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right, Ace. You got dream scenario in the NFC North. Rodgers probably leaving. The Lions, total rebuild. Everything's
Stop.
in chaos. The Bears, still the Bears.
Hey, Justin Fields.
It's going to ruin his career in Chicago. I agree. What do the Vikings do, Ace? What we got?
9-8. I mean, do we maybe?
Oh,
sneak
shit, that's
into
right.
the
We got
last
17
playoff
games.
spot?
I forgot about
I
that.
don't know. We got, yeah, we'll be. I'm curious to see, like I said, about what happens to that cornerback that's domestic, the rookie. He had a good rookie year last year, and if he doesn't play, we signed Patrick Peterson. But I mean, I was hoping to have him coach up that rook.
Yeah, I think you guys get Dallas again this year up there.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we finally don't play Seattle. We've played them a handful of years straight. I don't think we play them.
Well, you're going to get 4 wins automatically. You're going to beat Detroit and you're going to beat the Bears.
Oh,
Never
God,
say
damn
never,
it.
though. Never say
That's
never.
That's 4 wins.
Bears and the Lions. Yeah, we should toast the Lions this year because Goff to me is he makes that team so much different than Stafford. But
Maybe Aaron Rodgers will follow Favre and go
Don't
to
say it.
Minnesota and be your quarterback.
no, because then to me, I think it just
I'll
jinxes
just die.
us. Though.
I'll just die.
Yeah, I think it just jinxes the
I can't do it
Vikings.
twice, man. I can't do it twice.
Actually, you know
the
what
fuel
would
in
be
that
funny?
fire would be Kirk Cousins goes to Green Bay.
I'll die even sooner. I'll die sooner.
Vikings jersey sales. It'd be like what Rodgers 1 and then Favre.
I don't know,
2
man. Like,
jersey sales of all time.
That's a testament to how crappy Vikings fans are. Like you watch a guy for his entire career just toast your team, and then he's on your, and then he's your favorite player as soon as he joins your team. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, I know you if you can't beat him, join him. But damn, you guys have no shame, do you?
I wouldn't do it.
I think if Minnesota stays healthy and their defense plays better, I think it's out of Green Bay and it's out of Minnesota for that division with Rodgers there.
I still think like Rodgers is our kryptonite, and so until he leaves, we're looking like either to split if we're lucky, or they beat us 0-2.
Yeah, I
And
will
then-
say playing in Minnesota has been, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
harder than it should. Well, with the new stadium, I mean, I don't think it mattered before then, but yeah, the new
in
stadium
the
for whatever
Metrodome?
reason, man. I think ever since he got his collarbone jacked up, he's been a little gun shy. I feel, although I say that, but the last 2 games he's absolutely just decimated you guys. So I mean,
And Ty's right. Now that they're lifting all these bans, you know, the people are dying to
Yeah.
get out and get to a sporting event. The stadiums are going to be packed this year.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? I think Lambeau might be packed regardless if everyone allows it. So I don't think they're ever worried for fans. They
Yeah.
sell out in fucking preseason, man.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
family night where the Packers play the Packers and it's sold
loyal.
out. Like,
Jeez.
oh my gosh. My personal expectations, I don't have any because honestly, you get to 2 NFC Championship games, you host the last one, and you squander it. I was in a bad place for a while last season. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some pretty bad playoff losses, but that one just hurt so bad so quickly. Like by halftime, it's like they can't come back from this. I literally went out with my buddy. I put on my snow pants, a jacket. We lit up cigars and we drank some bourbon, and we didn't even care about the third quarter. I'm not even joking. I was like, whatever happens, I'll find out later. I need some time away.
That's the worst as a fan, man. That hurts just so bad, man. You sit there every Sunday to watch a game, and just to get to there, it's like, there it is again.
Hey, that's me every season. You know, being a sucky team in a sucky division, you have to win the last game to get into playoffs, and you choke.
See, but that's at least exciting, though. That's at least exciting.
I would hate
the East. Those guys. I'm talking about people that beat up on each other. Those guys. The players won't even know each other. They just know that they're supposed to hate the other team.
Yeah.
The primetime games between like the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Washington football team. Are they really not going to get a name, by the way, for this year?
No.
They might.
No, I went to see the Cowboys play the Eagles 2 years ago, and we averaged 30 points a game. We scored 9. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
You got to think though. That's probably the best division with a rivalry for each team. Like last year, like the Eagles had a sucky record, man, but they knew they had to beat their team. It's no matter what your records are, like everybody plays each other in that division so hard.
I would say my two favorite, if I didn't have any bias to any teams, my two favorite divisions would probably be NFC East and AFC North, because those teams, they hate each other so much. There's so much history, and even if they're not competitive, the games between those two teams will always be competitive.
Yeah,
hey, and there's more rings in the NFC East than any other division.
Well, I mean, the Eagles got their one, so good job.
But between the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Redskins, and the Eagles, man, there's a lot of rings there.
Well,
the only thing good about our division,
pick up their slack. Let's go Vikings. Oh, Lions have never even barely can even make the playoffs, so we'll never get there.
The only thing good about the East is the same team doesn't win the division back to back,
which I think is actually pretty exciting. But with the additional playoff spot, I mean, honestly, the NFC East has been such a joke. It's like, well, why are we adding another playoff spot when the team that's 8-8 is going to make the playoffs in the East? And they don't tied with another team that's 7-9 up until the last game. They got to fight it out to see who backs into the playoffs. It's like, it's exciting, but what the hell, man? Like, this is supposed to be the best of the best. This isn't right.
Dude, if we get like that, if we get like that, I root against the Cowboys because I want to get a better draft pick.
Right? It's sad that you have to think like that as a fan, but it's kind of true, actually. All right,
that's how we got CD Lamb.
Dude, I honestly don't think he's gonna be a sleeper pick, but I have to take him. He did so well last year. He's so good, so talented. Out of that whole wide receiver class last year, I mean, I think he had the best setup, obviously, before Dak went down. Yeah. I mean, Jefferson obviously had the best season, but I think if Dak stayed healthy, I think they would have been pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Because
I'll tell you what.
Cooper's going to give up eventually in the season. Like, you know that, right? Like, he'll play very well through, 10, 12 games, but he's going to give up.
I don't get that.
He's gonna,
last year he had his best year, and he had 4 or 5 different quarterbacks thrown to him.
Yeah, I kept him.
You know what I'm interested for? I'm interested for next year's offseason, because look at all these big names that sign 1-year deals. Next year's free agent market is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and the cap's going back up too. I think
that'll be a good topic later.
I think we're up to 202 or something from 183. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that number it's really arbitrary number, because you can always. I know that Ty was talking about the mastermind at the helm, the GM for the Saints. They're always pressed up against the cap, but they always make it under. You can make anything into any. You can work it however you need to. You turn a contract and okay, well, here's a signing bonus, here's a workout bonus, here's a. You didn't post anything dumb on Twitter bonus,
turning shit into gold.
Yeah,
they gave Taysom Hill that crazy fake deal. It was 4 years, $103 million, but he will never get that money. It's just a loophole to get out of everything.
Yeah, and these guys, I mean, they know what they're doing.
I still don't get that.
That's the thing too. It's people well, how were the Bucks able to retain everybody? How did that work? It's most of them, they just well, shit, we can have Brady for another year. We can get an easy ring. That's part A. Part B is, I mean, all right, here's a workout bonus.
Brady's the 15th
but Brady, look at Brady's contracts. He never made more than $20+ million.
No, When your
Yeah.
wife's making 3 times that, does it matter? Like,
Totally.
I personally wouldn't care if I made $2 million less. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
good deal. All right, I am starving to death, but it's been a pleasure catching up with you guys. Good to hear some takes. We didn't cover the topic we wanted, but I don't care. Everything goes.
We
I'm
can
pumped.
quick if you want. We can quick if you want.
No.
I was gonna say my phone's at 10%. So
No worries, guys. I appreciate
This
it.
will be a follow-up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, what week do the Cowboys and Saints play?
I think it's later in the year. Honestly, I think it's like mid to later season.
All right.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, if
Well,
we don't catch up with you guys, we'll do something before that just to get you guys going. I already heard a couple jabs. This is a good preview. It's not even the football season either.
Yeah, Cowboys Vikings. Oh, Cowboys Vikings October 31st.
Hey,
Yeah.
Green Bay and the Saints open up week 1.
That's your first.
already know
That's
how
your
that's
L
gonna
right
go
there.
down,
That's
bro.
your L.
I know.
Woo! Yeah.
We got
That'll
a
be
lot
a
of
good
question
little-
marks. All right, we'll
Hey,
catch
you're
up.
gonna look good in a Cowboys hat. We're gonna have a bet.
Ooh.
I like that.
See, I normally
I would-
do that with him, but that's even more juicy.
Yeah.
I like that. We'll have to decide that and lock it down.
All right, Saints, Packers, and then Vikings, Cowboys. Done. It's locked in.
Do they actually play opening week?
Hell yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
If I have to wear a Saints hat, oh my god.
That happened like
Yeah, we
3 years.
get the Bucks opening week. We get freaking Tom Brady.
Ooh.
Healthy Dak though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right, a lot of question marks going into this off season. We're gonna have a lot of fun come next season. A few months out, but it was good to catch up with you guys. Glad to see everyone's doing well. You guys look fantastic. Hope you're enjoying summer. Keeping out of trouble.
Congratulations on the wedding. You guys stay safe
congrats.
and healthy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Talk to you guys
Well,
later.
and the anniversary.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Later.
See ya.
That was fun as always. Ran a little longer than
Absolutely.
we wanted. Did not cover any of the topics that we intended to, but we covered a lot of stuff, and that's what's important.
We sprinkled in a few random sports memories throughout the topics, but yeah, we covered the whole gambit of sports, starting with the NBA playoffs and then segueing into football and
Made some
taking it
bets,
from there.
inadvertently made some
Yeah.
season bets, and it's not even the proper season for football, but hey, it's fine.
Yep.
The sun's
That'll be
literally
fun to look
moved
forward
like
to.
halfway across the sky since we started recording, so good deal. Well, that is our incredibly long show. Was not expecting it to be long, but if you stayed and listened up until this point, I gotta tell you, Ace and I,
Thank you.
we appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you guys. All right, so that is our show this week. We'll be back again next week. Not quite as fun shenanigans, but we'll find something. I know that Ace has something up his sleeve that he's been dying to get to unload
I have
on
a couple
everybody.
teasers, but I'm holding off.
Oh, hold 'em, baby. Hold 'em, hold 'em. But-
Till final.
Until final. No, we're not teases. We're not teases here. We give you the full dealio. All right, that is our show. Thank you again, everyone who watches. Listen, tell a friend, review us, rate us, share us. Do whatever you can. We love doing this, and the more people that are listening, the better it supports us. So keep doing what you're doing, guys. Thank you again. That is Ace. I am Johnny, and we are out of here.
That's the show for this week. Check out Armchair Analyst on Twitter at AA Podcasts, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. If this wasn't enough, be sure to check out armchairpodcast.com for more. See you next week.